Hey kids, it's Shad. As promised, I'm here with the second part of this tutorial where we are going to learn to texture our imported model. Now, this is the guy we rigged. I went in and did some adjustments of camera, which is basically just UV unwrapping it, making the textures. I just did them in preparation so I didn't have to waste time on this video just putting the textures together. It's just busy work, it's not that complicated. And if you guys would like, you can let me know in the comments, and I'll make some more tutorials just about making textures. Now you have four, or actually three, main textures for your character. First one is, let me go into let me make an image viewing viewport. Okay, first of all is the color. If I can find it, desktop. Just love how slow my computer is making new textures. C. Now, C stands for color. Actually, when you extract the texture, we'll get to it. C stands for color, which is the base color of your suit. These are the red parts, these are the blue parts, this is the eyes. I like making, this is essentially called a texture atlas, which is what they used for older games, when instead of having each texture for each 3D model separately, they would collage them all into one picture, so they didn't have to like have a new file for each model. They could all just use the same texture file. And since if your model is detailed and needs higher resolution textures, because this resolution is limited, so you can break up your model and make texture sets for all the different models, but I like doing this since my model doesn't need that high resolution of a texture. So yeah, this is the C texture, which stands for color. This one is the G texture. G stands for glossy. It is essentially the specular map. This works in a interesting matter. The opacity, the alpha layer of this essentially is what makes things shiny. So a transparent image, this is the G texture. You have in a transparent PNG, you have two factors. You have the color and the alpha. This is the model I'll demonstrate here. So this is what the color channel looks like, solid colors, and this is how the alpha channel looks like. Now, the way the game is coded, the closer things are to white, the shinier they will be. So this part is a little gray, so it'll be less shiny. The webs are pure white, so they'll be extremely shiny along with the eyes. And the blue parts are a little less, but still really bright, so they will be shiny too, which is what I intend. Now this, I made the mistake of leaving the color channel blank when I did my first alpha TASM 2 mod, and that made it come out too pale. So just make this black and white mask. Zero, like black, you shouldn't go there. I recommend like at least 10 or 15% of brightness for specular detail, and so that's zero shininess, completely matted, and white is completely shiny. So you make this guy first, then you go into Photoshop and use it as a layer mask in texture tutorial. This is one how to apply them. So yeah, just apply them to the colors you have preset and it'll make the glossy map. Now normal map, I have left this guy blank because, actually let me display it here. I have left the normal map blank because this model doesn't need that, but this is generally what let's see, like for example, this is the mod I made for one of my friends. Great guy. See, it's a blue, generally it's a bluish purple color, and the raised parts are coded like this. This is, the computer knows what to make of this. It makes your model bumpy, essentially. Yeah, so you want to take these textures you've made. Let me see, tutorial, new textures. Yeah, you want to take these guys and apply them. First of all, you need to know what material your model is assigned to. Now, in order to do that, you need this little handy guy material parsing tool, which you will find on the Discord of the Spider-Man PC modding Discord again. Okay, I'm gonna come here. You're gonna get the dot model, either the one you extracted or the one you made, and drag and drop it to this application, and it'll bring up this prompt. Now, what does this say? The numbers will start at 0, so be careful about that. Slot 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This has 11 materials. This model has 11 material slots. Now, the first one is glass, which is, as you saw, the material our model was applied to. WebShooter glass material. It was the material our model was applied to because it was in the first slot. As you can see here, there is, let me open the 3D viewport again. This is the model. It's in the first spot. There's nothing behind it, and I got rid of the new other material. There's nothing in front of it, so it gets applied to the first texture right here. First material, I mean. Second one is WebShooter. We don't want to do that because it's shared among other suits. So if you change that material, it'll change them on other suits. Same with the eye material, rubber material 2, blue pants, red. This is the one we will most likely be replacing. Eye shutter material is also shared. Lens material is shared. Head material shares a normal map with the plastic damage suit. Eyes are also shared. And blue. Blue isn't one I want to edit, so we'll go with, where did it go? Red. Plastic red material is in slot 5, and since we start from 0, it's the 6th. So how do we get this mesh to be the 6th? I'm gonna get YouTube, don't ban me. Okay, we're gonna get this guy to be the 6th model in here. How do we do that? We duplicate it, but no, we won't use that duplicate because it takes up space. So we're gonna come into it, go into edit mode, press A to select all vertices, press M, add center. What this does is it makes it a single vertices. Single vertices are displayed, only polygons are displayed, so this guy will be invisible. We're gonna set its name to 1 and duplicate, 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 duplicate until we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's much. This makes our mesh the 6th mesh, right? But those are empty. We call them dummy meshes. Stupid. Okay. Select your armature and the models. Export XNLara, just like we did before. As an USM, we'll call this guy final so we can differentiate between the last one we made. As an ASCII and export. Now, on to the texturing business. Thank you, we won't be needing you anymore. Also, props to the guy who made this tool. I don't remember their name, but this is amazing. We're just gonna wait for this modeling tool to open up. Now, usually the textures are spread out. We have two kinds of textures. They're essentially the same. We have one are low res textures for when the model is in the distance and you don't need to load the high resolution textures because that will take space up on the RAM and you want to save RAM in order to have a smooth experience. So when it's in the distance, it loads the low resolution textures, but when it's in front of you close up, it loads the high resolution textures. But the tool encodes the single textures you've made into low res and high res, so you don't have to make your textures twice. Now, the low res textures are located where the actually, let me get this. Can I do this mid recording? Wow, that's awesome. Okay, the low res textures are located when the model was, so 001 file, characters, hero. It was classic Spider-Man that we swapped. Textures. Now, we just want the red textures, so red C, red G, red mask, we'll get to what mask is, and red normal. Extract asset. We're gonna go into our tutorial folder yet again. We're gonna call this one game textures. This is the C texture for red. Asset extracted. Do the same with G. Extracted, extract asset, Extract this one, and done. Now we're gonna go over to the high-res textures are on files 14, 15, and 16. I think Classic Suit is in 15, shouldn't have been 14. Characters, hero, and where is it? Classic. I was right. Textures. Now this guy's got too much fun, but here, red C. Oh, okay, I almost forgot. Okay, these have the same name, as you can see. So what you have to do is put an underline HD in front of the high-res textures, the ones you get from 14, 15, 16 files. I'm gonna put underline HD in my clipboard so I can copy and paste it. Save it here. Asset extracted. Extract asset. G. Red mask. Extract the normal map, and we'll be done. Done. Now, these textures are in a private format like the models, which is called .textures. Is Insomniac's personal. Actually, I wonder if I haven't. Did my webcam move? I don't know if it did, but I hope it did. Yeah. Red C HD. These are .texture files, which is a private format that we can't open, so we need a converter. Now someone did make a GUI with it for this one too, but I'm too lazy to get that, and the non-GUI version works just fine. You can find this, I believe, on Nexus Mod. I might be wrong, but you can find it on the Discord server as well. Is this .exe right here? I placed it myself in the mod tool folder so I wouldn't lose it, but it comes separately. Now what you're gonna do is drag and drop your non-HD textures to this guy, and it'll make a .png. Red C, red G, red mask, red normal. Done. It did that to all textures. You don't need the .texture files anymore, and they're just plugging up space. There's no problem with deleting them, but I keep them just in case. But I'm gonna delete them this time. So you get your new .png and this metadata.json file. You need this to convert these back to .textures, right? So explaining what this mask texture is, I'm gonna open it. Yeah, this guy has the web pattern like the normal. Let me show the color cheese thing for this. It's a cheese. Yeah, this is the color. This one's the glossy map. You see how we made that. This is it in game. And the mask, and this is the normal map. This is the inverted color of that blue color I showed you. If you do Control-I in Photoshop, it'll swap to this. Thankfully, the game doesn't differentiate between the two formats, so we're good. Yeah. So what this one does, see how a normal map makes bumps? There are these things that I love using, by the way, called micro maps. I actually made some of my own right here. Seamless fabric. I'm gonna go back in here, image viewer, seamless fabric. Yeah, this is the micro texture of a fabric that I tile over my models to give them a realistic look. It's a really neat trick. I love using it, and the game uses it too. Actually, the game is where I learned it. But since the game wants to display this texture, this is the one I made, but their equivalent of it, wants to display this texture on only the red parts and not where webs are on the texture. You don't want it going over the webs. It makes this basically, so pictures are made of red, green, and blue pictures put together, right? So each of these channels has a mask. The red channel shows all the reds as white and everything that's not red as black. Same thing with blue and green. So this game tells it, hey, display the tiled fabric micro map only in this in the red channel, right? So it displays it here, but we don't want the micro map. If you want the micro map, you can modify this and replace the micro map texture to your own preferred texture, because the scale is different when you import your own model, so you might want to change that. So we don't want that over here, so it displays in the red channel, doesn't display in the blue channel, but I always replace them with a black texture so it doesn't display it anywhere, right? So that's why I have created this for my mask texture. It's a pure black image, 2048 by 2048, because that's the resolution the game wants from us. So yeah, what I'm gonna do now is, now that I have made my textures, we're gonna open this folder containing the game textures in a new window. Go to my textures. You're gonna need rename files. C becomes this, G becomes this, Control C and Control V. Mask becomes this detail mask, and N, which stands for normal, becomes this. It didn't work. Control C and Control V. Now you're gonna select these guys, Control C and Control V over here, replace files. Now they're changed. Now you're gonna have to convert these guys back to .texture. How do you do that? You open the mod tool for again, or where you have this spider text.exe saved. You drag and drop your textures to here, and come on, you got this. You got this, you can do this. I believe in you. There it is. Converted these to Spider-Man C.custom.texture and underline HD.custom.texture. Right, so you have this new .texture file. You repeat this process for every texture you have. I hope they make a batch selection for this. Can't get really tedious. Oh, and as you guys remember, at this part of the tutorial, you have, or the process, you have to drink water. If you have gotten crashes while testing this yourself, it's because you didn't drink water, you unhydrated fox. G mask done. We have our new .texture files. Now we're gonna go into here and replace them. We're in the 0015 file, so that means we need 8 HD textures. Replace asset and mod. Extend this column so you see the name. We need NHD. Mask. This is not head, this is mask. Mask HD. Replace G. And replace C. HD. Repeat the process for the non-HD textures. Spider-Man Classic, red. Replace asset. These are the non-HD ones. C, G, M, and N. So now you'll be like, okay, I'm done, time to test my mod. No, you're forgetting something. You change your model. Remember, you added 6 or 5 more meshes and you export it again. So you go back, get your model to ASSCI or SSCI to model converter. Browse to the USM final that we made. Browse model, select any model file. and convert USM final.model and do it. Right. I forgot. Yeah, you go here. Here's Spider-Man Classic. This is the dot model. Replace asset in mod. Get the USM final dot model. Now at this point, you want to save your mod file. So if there's a minor thing you have to change, you don't have to do the whole thing again. Tutorial. What did I do? Oh, it went to the tutorial.smpcprj. Why is it opening the folder? I do not know. Tut. Save. And it's gonna take a while to save. Don't worry about it. And get ready for my frames to drop again because we are testing. Okay, we're here. We're finally here, and it looks like our mod worked. So the rig is a little broken for some reason. It's probably because of the proportions of this model. But nothing to fear, because with a little more fine-tuning on your own, you can fix this. You don't need to rush this like I did. But yeah, here it is, the Ultimate Spider-Man mod from PS2, and it looks glorious. So yeah, this is it, we're done. You guys made a mod. Congratulations! Look at it. Look at how beautiful it is. The blue parts are shiny. Their leg is broken because of the proportions of this model. I think I didn't place the knee correctly onto the game skeleton, but you guys can watch out for that and don't run into the same issue I did.
In progress.
Let's see, let's take a selfie. He's walking, no, he's not. Oh, look at the hands. Oh no. But yeah, this is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did like this video, I really I need validation, guys. I seek validation on the internet. I need it. I need you guys to like that video right now. And do subscribe as well. Follow me on socials if you'd like to do any of those things. And if you'd like to see any more tutorials or any other kinds of video, just let me know in the comments, and I'll see you later. Bye.